Okay, what's up guys? So, welcome to my favorite part of everything, which is sales. All right, this is video number 1, principle of sales. Okay, so sales training 101. I'm gonna give you my general philosophies about sales, how I approach it, and my intention is this is going to be quick but powerful. Okay, I don't wanna inundate you with like an unnecessary flow of information. I wanna give you what matters very quickly so you understand, so that you can learn. Okay, this isn't going to be a 10-hour sales training course bullshit. I'm going to teach you how to sell our thing, and then once you know how to sell our thing, you will be able to easily adapt it to sell anything else you ever want. Okay, but this is going to teach you the principles underlying everything. And remember, all the outbound that we're doing are leading us up, or is leading us up to this one point, which is the sales call. This is how you're gonna make your $10,000 to $30,000 a month. What happens here on the sales call? After, when they sign the contract and you have to fulfill, we don't worry about that now. Okay, literally, it's not even supposed to be in your mind now. Sales comes first, okay? Because if you can't sell, it doesn't matter if you can deliver great shit, okay? Just like when I was writing books on Amazon. If I wrote the greatest book in the world and I threw it up there on Amazon KDP and nobody ever saw it, what the fuck does it matter if it's good or not? Okay, it doesn't. So what matters is reach and visibility and having people come in and see you. So in our business, what matters is getting people on sales calls and then being able to fucking close them. Okay, I'm gonna go over this. Principles of sales. There's not much here because I want this to be, again, to the point and very concise but impactful. So, principles of sales, and that's also the reason why I didn't write it out here, because I want you guys to really follow along and take all this to heart. Number 1, it is your job to take their money. This is more aggressive than other stuff you've seen online, because you've probably seen stuff out in the public domain on YouTube or TikTok or whatever the fuck, okay? This is aggressive because you have to be aggressive, all right? You have to be a killer here on sales calls, because it's literally your lifeblood, what you're doing here on sales calls. The ability to sell will determine all your success in the future. Okay, with this sort of business, with any other sort of business, it's the ability to sell that matters. Traffic sources are great, right? But we can always change traffic sources and get different traffic sources, and techniques change and methods change and funnels change. Sales remains the same, okay? So number 1 thing when you get on a sales call, it is your fucking job to take their money. Okay, number 2, you're doing them a favor by making them realize this. Okay, so whatever it is you're pitching them on the sales call, that's this. You're doing them a favor by making them realize that. Okay, and 3, their lives will drastically improve by giving you money. Those are the 3 core principles that I want you guys to cement in your head. 1, it's your job to take their money. It's not your job to pitch them this great, amazing thing and then let them fuck off and think about it. It's your job on the call to take their money, okay? You're doing them a favor by making them understand that giving you money is in their best fucking interest, okay? That's 2. Number 3, you have to really truly believe that their lives will drastically improve by giving you their money. Okay? Now, we're not scamming anybody, right? When we get their money, we actually deliver and fulfill and try to grow their store. And I'm gonna give you stuff that will help grow their store, will make them money, right? So their lives will improve, right? Will they improve drastically at the very start when you're a beginner and just starting out? Probably not. Right? But will you put good effort in? I hope so, right? Have some fucking morals and ethics. But when we're on the sales call, this is our mindset. It's your job to take their money. You're doing them a favor by taking their money and make them realize that it's good for them to give you money and that their lives will drastically improve by giving you money. That's it. That's all I want in your head when you're getting on the call. This is the correct frame of mind, okay? And this comes honestly from my one-on-one students who I've taught and seen starting sales and what they do, right? They're scared of this. But if you go into your very first sales call and you hammer these 3 principles in your head, you have a much higher chance of winning, okay? Conviction trumps all, okay? This is what I always say. Conviction trumps all. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you believe in your product or not. If you have conviction that it's the best fucking thing out there, that's the strongest possible base for you to attack with, okay? You just have to believe in yourself, all right? And again, this is isolated to the sales call. You can understand, okay, let's be honest, okay? I'm being very aggressive here on camera on purpose, right, to hammer a point in. But on the sales call, you probably do have doubts in the back of your head, like, if I take their money, will I be able to deliver? Will they be happy? Will they do a chargeback? Like, first of all, chargebacks are very, 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 very extremely fucking rare, okay? We've had 2, that's it. And both of them were just retarded, right? In B2B, they're very rare. In our offer, they're extremely rare. B2C, all the time. RebelFit.io, people had a 5-month program. They finished the program. They loved it. They had a 10-month payment plan. They cancel their card. I can't charge them, and I do chargebacks for the 5 months just to get their money back, because consumer always wins. All right, so B2C is different. But again, if somewhere you're unconscious, right, you're thinking, okay, like, yeah, Edward's telling me that, you know, it's my job to take their money, but like, if I take their money, will I really do a good job with it? Like, do I deserve it? Like, maybe I can't deliver on all the promises, right? On the sales call, none of that matters, okay? On the sales call, only thing that matters is this. You have to know your job, and your job is to take their money, all right? And here's one last thing. There's a script, right? I'm gonna give you a script. It's a very good script, right? It gets, if a newbie runs it, you get your 20% close rate. If you just do the fucking thing word by word, line by line, and present it with a tiny bit of confidence, not even full conviction, right? Just a little bit of confidence that makes you, you know, that prospect, makes it seem to the prospect that you know what you're on about. You get a 20% probably, right? I get 30% on the same script, 35% if I'm really dialed in, okay? But the 35%, the difference there is literally my mentality going in. Like, if I go in, I'm okay, I'm gonna fucking push, and it is my job to take their fucking money, and I'm gonna objection handle the shit out of it, and I'm gonna get a deposit no matter what. I'm gonna get their card digits, okay? And I'm gonna push for the initial entire first month payment on the call. And if they give me no, I'm gonna still push and push and push again, right? If I have that mindset, it's 35. If I'm like a mindset, oh, okay, it's chill, like, you know, I'm just having fun, 30%, right? But again, this is through lots of experience. But you guys will have, you'll have the structure of sales, which is the next video, the structure of sales call, so you understand what you're gonna do on a sales call. You can have my actual exact script that I started things with, okay, that I signed all my first clients with, because that's the script that's relevant to you, slightly different to what I do now, but I'm gonna give you the one that's relevant to you because it was relevant to me at the start. Okay, so this is what you learn from. Only other thing what I do now is I've just cut away different pieces, okay, that I've realized are not very effective for me and they're unnecessary. So you have more in your script, and this is what I was using at the start, okay, and to grow the agency to $100,000 months, okay? So you guys are gonna have that. You're also gonna have recordings, some in this course, and I give all my recordings I've ever fucking done, right? So I've recorded probably hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of sales calls. RebelFit.io, Boom Creatives, right? They're in the higher level stuff. If you want like a depository of sales calls of me, depository, anyway, of my sales calls, they're all there, okay? In this course, I'm gonna give you a couple important ones. I don't wanna overwhelm you because all you gotta do is watch them 1, 2, 3 times, understand what's being said, and you have the script over here, and that's it, boom, you understand, okay? Because it's script plus a little bit of conviction, a little bit of confidence, and that's it. That gets you 20. Now, real raw conviction, where you've actually, you know, delivered to clients results, and you know, okay, this thing is fucking real, right? That comes over time. But understand this, conviction trumps all, so that means if people ask you for referrals, or references, right, or case studies, or anything like that, you can bypass all of that just through having rock solid conviction in your offer, right? So if someone's like, you know what, yeah, this sounds great, but I need to see some case studies. First of all, it's a soft no, okay? So they're not actually sold, so they didn't do a good job pitching them, right? But if I have full conviction, and I don't have any case studies, would I be like, listen, Mary, I totally understand what you're saying, right? Case studies are great and all, but I'll give you 2 things. One, I'm in the business of making my clients money, not the other way around. So unfortunately, because you're still just a prospect and we have NDAs with all our clients, right? Like I've done this before, but it never really worked out. So the only time I can really give a case study or give some sort of contact information of existing clients is if someone's already signed on, right? Because then they have skin in the game, they've paid us and they're a client, and when they're clients, we're all a big happy family, right? But realistically, do the systems that I just presented, do they make sense to you? Does it make logical sense how we're gonna grow your store? Oh yeah, maybe, right? So you just push it aside and power through. It's not like what I just said will work 100% of the time, right? Don't assume that. There's no overarching principle that will work 100% of the time. But these generalities here, like conviction trumps all, that's true, okay? Saying something with conviction versus without, right? Makes a huge difference. That can be, you can have exactly the same script. One person says it with conviction, other one says it without because they're like soft, right? Who's gonna win? This guy, okay? This is one other last thing just for this, the principle of sales is, again, my students, one-on-one students struggle with this, so I'm gonna mention it here. The job starts after you drop the price. And drop the price, I mean give the price. I don't mean price drop. Price dropping and saying, okay, it's 5,000, but for this reason X and Y and Z, and we'll do it for 3. Okay? The job starts after you drop the price, after you tell them your pricing. Okay? So many beginners think that because they've done the script well and they've pitched well, right, and they've presented their thing in a very good terms, right? They've copied me. Once they say the price, their job is done. They just sit back and wait for the person to just sign. Because all the lead up until the price drop is just a rehearsed lines over and over that you just say over and over and over. It's the same fucking thing. Okay? So this is just like you're a robot. This is on autopilot. When your brain has to kick in is here after your price drop, and then you have to handle their objections and you have to work on them to actually convince them, to give them more certainty, to give you money. Okay? How you judge if you did a good job up to here though is before you drop the price, before your price drop, you ask them, does that sound good? Does it make sense to you? Yes, yes. Do you actually want to work with us? Do you see how we can grow your business? Yeah, I really do. That sounds really good. So like, what are the next steps? Like, I guess pricing? Yeah, let's talk about pricing. All right, and then you go. So you judge the script and your delivery of the script based on that. If people are saying like, sounds similar to what I've heard before, or if they're saying, if they're not fully convinced and fully fucking sold, then you didn't do a good job. Okay, you have to understand that. This is your feedback point. This is very important. This is how you judge. Every single person I ever talked to here, except literally like 2 or 3 lifetime for Boom Creatives, said, yes, I want to work with you. Yes, it sounds fucking great. How do we do it? Doesn't mean I close everyone, but everyone is sold, right, on the offer. They think the offer is fucking great. It's an issue of money. It's an issue of whatever. It's an issue of having uncertainty about us, about the, signing on to new agencies. It's an issue of having lots of bad experience with agents before. You can overcome those, okay? But overcoming that, this is the part that's variable. Now, very quickly again, just so you understand, when you get to the end, you say the price, someone gives an objection, there's a very easy loop that you do, and you do it over and over and over 3 or 4 times, and if by the 4th they're still not closing, let them go, okay? It goes like this. They give an objection. Yeah, it sounds good, but it's super expensive, okay? You agree with them. Agree and acknowledge it. Yes, Mary, I completely understand. It is super expensive. We are the, highest priced guys in the business. Totally understand that. Next, after you agree, you remind them of their pain point. And the pain point you collect at the start of the call and say, why does it matter to you? Okay? But you say, hey, but remember how you said you've been stuck for 5 years? I always use 5 years. So remember like you said at the start, you've been stuck for a year, right? And you haven't been able to scale past $15,000 months, right? For whatever reason, your ads stopped working, right? Wouldn't it make sense to go with somebody who has the systems that allow you to scale past that? She'd be like, well, yeah. And do you see how we've, like what I presented to you so far, how we have the systems that actually allow you to go past that? And she's like, well, yeah. So wouldn't it make sense to work with us? She'd be like, well, you know what? Yeah, maybe, but it's still expensive. Loop again, same objection handling loop, okay? Acknowledge, remind them of another pain point, go for the close. Acknowledge, remind them of a pain point, go for the close. And do that 3 or 4 times total. If by the 4th they're still not moving, not budging, you can let them go. Okay? But that means you actually tried. You did a good job. Okay? Now, what I will give you as well is I started teaching my salespeople this. Is 3 standard objection loops that for every single call, right, you just take them through the first, and then the second, and then the third, and they're scripted. Okay? So I've dumbed this down so much that you don't even have to do any thinking on the objection handling, except when you remind them of their pain point. You just have to remember what they said at the start of the call. And guess what? When you're on the call, you're allowed a pen, you're allowed a pad of paper. Okay, you can write down the pain points, circle it, say 1, circle another one, 2, circle another one, 3. These are my 3 that I'm going to use when I do the objection handling loops. Okay, so I'm going to give you the scripts for those as well. When you have the basic script for the pitch and the sales call, and then you also have an additional script for 3 objection handling loops, right? You're looking at 25, 30% plus closing rate right off the bat. The other thing is that always get on the video call, okay? Because 95% of communication is nonverbal, and because 95% of communication is nonverbal, that's why I say this, conviction trumps all, right? Because how is that portrayed? Non-verbally, right? So, okay, that's just overall principles of sales. Very quick, right? I'm not gonna be doing 10 hours here. I wanna give you the stuff that matters so that you understand it. You get rid of all the other stuff you've seen before or looked at before, okay? You wanna learn from me, so learn it my way. My way works to get 30, 35% closing rate on my offer. That's what you guys can aim for, right? Should aim for. If people say they get 40%, 50%, 60% close rate, that's one, I think that's bullshit. But 2, the only way that's really possible is if the leads coming in are pre-qualified and they're like warm, they already wanna buy, okay? Our people are completely cold, right? They don't even really know what we offer. They just seen a loom, it intrigued them, and then it's our job on the sales call to convince them and move them to be a hot buyer, okay? So if all your sales calls, instead of starting, cold, they start over here, right, super hot, then yeah, you'll have a higher closing rate, right? But for cold audience, who you have to move through the spectrum from being cold, not knowing about you, to being hot and like wanting to actually buy, but they have objections, right? Going through that, the best you can really expect is 30 to 35%. Okay, anyone telling you or selling you higher numbers is bullshitting you. Okay, and again, let me be completely honest. For most of you, probably, maybe 20 to 25% is just what you should aim for, and you'd be happy there. And you can get that just by following my script and then following the 3 objection handling loops that I'm gonna give you, okay? That's it. Next video, we'll go over the exact structure of the sales calls. Then we're going to go into objection handling. Again, I went over here. Maybe we'll go over objection handling on a high level, but after the structure of the sales calls, I'm gonna show you how you actually take people's money on the call. Okay, so proper framing, proper pushing, and proper objection handling. And then you're just gonna get examples of sales calls that you watch over and over and over again. And the best way to learn is through mimicry. So you just copy what you see me do, plus you have my written script, and that's it, right? So like this is a crash course. It's not intensive because it really doesn't need to be. You just have to know a few core principles, right? And a few core things. And if you do thing A and thing B, C, D, E, it's gonna work, right? That's basically it, all right? That's it for me. See you next one.